Yay! Have you ever questioned the idea that our 33rd president, Harry S. Truman, was an asset to our history? Some would say that he wasn't. In my opinion, he was. I took a look at millercenter.org, and what it presented was some facts about him growing up, and I think it's important because it kind of gives you a background of who Harry was. Harry actually grew up working on a farm most of his life. They lived in Missouri. Unfortunately, he didn't get to go to college because they lived in a low poverty level, and mom and dad didn't make a whole lot of money, and he had other siblings, so unfortunately that didn't happen for him, but he was always working. If he wasn't working on the farm, he was working in a railroad, or he was looking for other work. But down the road, you find out that the schooling he actually wanted to go to was a military school. So he's been wanting to do this, to be in the political field for many, many years. And what I learned from that is actually through the history, he was part of, he did World War I, he was in that, National Guard. He was promoted to captain of the auxiliary unit. He was a judge. They said that while he was a judge that, they seen a lot of efficiency and integrity in him. He was a senator and then, of course, a vice president. And he, all along, he's been a Democrat. He followed it all his life. He's never changed how he felt. He supported how Roosevelt actually came about with the New Deal and how it was going to help with the Great Depression. He's always about helping people in any way that he could. And unfortunately, Roosevelt did pass away. It was April 12th, 1945. He was on vacation and he actually had a hemorrhage and passed away. But the problem with that was not bringing Truman into presidency, but the fact that Truman was brought into many challenges and decisions that he had to make. For instance, when he actually came in, you could see that the war was just ending, and when he took office in Europe, the United Nations Charter was signed at that time. He actually had to participate in the Potsdam Conference. He had to discuss post-war treatment with Germany and Great Britain. He ended the war with the Pacific with the emperor actually surrendering, which was something strange because obviously in Japan, the emperor is somebody that they look up to, and the emperor really didn't say anything, but Japan and Hiroshima, Nagasaki, they couldn't do war anymore. So the emperor called up and said, okay, we're not doing this anymore, we need to find peace. So later on, you find out that the economy actually bloomed, and that he really didn't want to harm anybody when the bomb was dropped. It came down to the fact that they had just bombed Pearl Harbor, the fact that we had people in other areas in the Pacific actually fighting. They've been fighting for 4 years, and unfortunately, they were wore out. He needed to end war, and he needed to end fast. So that was one thing that he obviously accomplished that's huge and many people know about. Then some other facts that I had learned from the Miller Center and also National Archives was that he made some great contributions. He adapted the policy of containment towards Soviet expansion. He spread communism, and he came up with the Truman Doctrine and Marshall Plan. With the National Archives, it was said that what is important is how Truman actually looked to history and shaping his views and influencing his policies. His life, and political career, they were big to him. And he wanted people to know that he was all about the people. It wasn't, and some things that he did that actually represented that was that he physically, towards the, after we won with Japan surrendering, he actually stepped up, and you could see where the economy needed some help, and he not only made choices to, fix that, but he actually physically got himself involved. So he was racing here and he was racing there to make sure that all the pieces he could do, he was helping with, instead of just sitting in an office and talking about it. It was Truman that also said it best. It is what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit.